There once lived all kinds of pretty roses. The roses of that garden looked happy because they formed good friendships among themselves, and love and harmony between them was palpable. One of the roses was called Elegant. She was stunning, and everybody held her in awe. However, she was arrogant, and this characteristic stood in the way of her forming friendships with her peers. Elegant didn't care about making friends. She only cared about her beauty. She thought that her beauty and elegance would make everyone love her. But she didn't realize that love doesn't come from beauty or color. Rather, love comes from refined morals, decency, and good manners. One day, a group of roses colored yellow and white agreed to visit Elegant because they felt sorry for her and wanted to invite her to the annual Rose Festival in order for her to have fun and make friends. She said to them arrogantly,
"Did you think I wasn't invited? I was the first to be invited, but I'm wondering why you were even invited. You're not pretty, and your colors aren't bright or attractive like my red color."
The roses were surprised by her arrogant and belittling response, so they said to her,
"It's sad that you're losing a lot of your beauty day by day, and no one will love you if you continue being arrogant."
And they left. Elegant looked at them in a snobbish way and laughed at them. She thought to herself that they must be jealous of her beauty, and that they definitely had to love her and admire her. She doesn't know that the heart is the only thing that is not controlled by anyone. It's independent, and nobody can force someone to love someone else. On the festival day, Elegant went there alone, but she believed she wouldn't be alone there because everybody would be eager to make friends with her. She thought her beauty would attract everyone and that they all would gather around her. However, during the ceremony, the opposite happened. The roses weren't happy to see her come. No rose approached her. Instead, everyone avoided her. She couldn't even find a place to sit. She felt like an outcast and that something was missing. She was so disturbed that she said to herself, unaware that she was speaking somewhat loudly,
"Why is everyone avoiding me? Am I less than them? There are many pretty roses here, but I'm the most beautiful, and still they're loved and found friends. What am I missing?"
Suddenly, Elegant heard one of the roses saying,
"Do you want to sit next to me, dear?"
Then she found an older rose whose beauty had started to wither and was obviously shriveled. Elegant was annoyed by her and said to her,
"Do you think I'm pathetic enough to sit next to you, you withered rose? Do you think your beauty is equal to mine? How rude of you to ask me, the most beautiful rose in the garden, to sit next to you! You shouldn't be at this festival. You should leave to save your dignity."
The old rose was disturbed by her words and responded,
"Don't you know that old age is a graveyard for beauty, dear? I wasn't pitying you when I invited you to sit next to me, but now I do."
Elegant looked at her in a wondering and arrogant way, but her words kept ringing in her ears. She started to fear that her beauty would go away someday when she was old, and started to feel worried. Elegant left the festival in a panic because she hadn't found a rose that liked her, and because she'd heard an expression she'd never heard before. The words of that old rose were still echoing in her ears loudly. They'd left a great impression on her. The next day, as usual, Elegant was alone in the garden, looking at the other roses around her, wondering how they were average-looking, but lucky. A kid was passing by and liked Elegant, so he picked her up and took her home. He said to his mother,
"Look what I got for you, Mom! I brought you a beautiful rose."
The mother liked the rose a lot and said, "But dear son, you should take care of it very well. Roses wither if you don't take care of them." Elegant was worried that she might wither like the old rose she had met in the festival. She couldn't tell the boy when she needed water if she wanted to. She would need water every other day in order to stay beautiful and fresh. She was used to being watered by the gardener every morning before sunrise in her previous place in the garden. Obviously, this kid didn't know how to take care of her because he watered her every day when he woke up late in the day when the sun was in the heart of the sky, so she didn't benefit much from the water. He hadn't watered her for 3 days now, and she didn't know why. Elegant started worrying more and said sadly,
"It seems he will stop watering me completely and forget about me."
3 very long and hard days went by, and she didn't drink a drop of water. She became sad and watched her beauty wither and fade away. Another day went by, and her water stash started running out, and she started to feel weak and exhausted, until one day the mother noticed how she was withering and went and got her water and said, "Excuse my son, he's sick and hasn't been able to water you. I'll return you to the garden you were in. That's best for you and us." The next morning, Elegant was returned to the garden. She was overjoyed to be back and to have survived a veritable nightmare. However, she benefited from the experience and learned a lesson she'd never forget all her life, that beauty is temporary and that she'd lose it in 1 minute without the care of God. She took the chance one day to go and apologize to the old rose. She asked for her forgiveness and promised to take her advice from now on. The old rose accepted her apology and told her that life is still ahead of her, and she'd have lots of friends after she'd changed and become modest and kind.
"You should know, my dear, that everyone here is beautiful. Every color is beautiful in its own way. God created differences to make life beautiful."
Elegant heard the old rose's words and went to apologize to the yellow and white roses, and told them that she'd like to be their friend and that she regretted what she'd said to them before. They accepted her apology on the condition that she wouldn't be arrogant again. She agreed to do her very best, and thus there was love between them all again, and smiles was ever present upon the roses. Now, with her good morals and manners, Elegant was truly beautiful.